and welcome back to VDRL. Today we're here in Austria for round 7 of Tier 2, and alongside me this time I have Quolis as a co-commentator who will be talking to you guys during this race and during this qualifying session, and of course right now. So Quolis, I will hand it over to you while I go invite everyone to the lobby.
Okay, thank you, Kota. Hello, everyone, and welcome to round 6 or 5 to VDRL Tier 2. We are in
7.
Bahrain for this week, and we are entering this race with Meshu leading the championship by over 50 points, giving him an incredible advantage. It's definitely going to be a very close race. Let's see if it's going to be another domination by him, or is there going to be a title fight at the end.
By the way, it's Austria, round 7.
Okay.
Okay, just talk about something while I invite everyone.
Right now, Ferrari is leading the championship by over 60 points over Red Bull in second. Then there's a very close gap to McLaren in third. The actual standings are quite close, except for Meshu, who's very far in front. This is going to be definitely a very interesting race, with Austria being a very DRS-dependent track, meaning the pack is going to be very close all the way through the end. We are looking at rather high attendance for this week, so we hope for a lot of racing actions.
Yep, and since it is Austria, there's always a chance of rain. We'll have to see what's gonna be the weather forecast when we get into the qualifying session, of course.
Yes, there's a very high chance of rain happening this week, so that's definitely going to spice up the race.
Okay.
So right now we're just waiting for all of the drivers to join, and the race will begin very soon. So please hold tight and wait patiently.
Mr. Quota.
Hello.
Hi, can you add me, please?
What? Okay. Yeah. I'll go. I'll add you.
Sorry?
Wait, what's your name?
Louis Hammy 44.
Well, I invited you. Bro.
Alright. Cheers.
Quota, could you send me over the Twitch channel link?
Yeah.
Or YouTube, or whatever you use.
Yeah, I sent it. Look, you can go onto the YouTube. I'm gonna pull up the quali results. You can talk about them. Since we're gonna be heading into quali right now, I'll pull them up.
So, last standings last week are Ferrari in first with 164 points, Red Bull in second 104 points, McLaren in third with 103 points. Then we have a big gap to Mercedes in fourth with 62 points, Alpine in fifth, the French team, with 55. Now let's move on to the qualification results from Bahrain last week. Infinity on pole with a 127.7, very decent time for the British driver. We've got 0 in McLaren in second place, 2 tenths behind P1. Then we've got Sam in third with 127.998. Berlandis in fourth, UK Ethan in fifth, Jabzinki in sixth, Dimag in seventh, the McLaren driver having a bad qualifying, young victim in Aramco, Aston Martin in 8th, Harry in 9th, Barcaboy 98 in 10th, Sir Norris in 11th, Mr. Sonny in 12th, Justin Maguire in 13th, Justin in the other Aston Martin in 14th, and Meshu, Majan and Akohor did not set a time in the qualifying session.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely expecting some rain in this qualifying session. We're gonna have to see though. We don't know yet. Of course, we should be heading underway in just a couple minutes here. Everyone has to join really quick.
Right now there's 14 drivers in the lobby as we're just waiting for a couple of last people to join, and we will begin qualifying.
Okay. Mm. By the way, do you see my screen share callers?
Yeah, I can see the game.
Okay, okay.
So now we're about to start the qualifying, and we're about to start the session.
And it's wet, as we can see.
And it's raining. You forgot to disable the overlays on the stream.
Yes, thank you for letting me know. Okay. Session is starting.
The overlays are still on. Never mind.
Okay. I'm just waiting for the sessions to start so I can invite everyone, but I think it's glitched. This has happened before once.
No, it's probably just someone's very bad internet still loading up, so give it a second.
Okay. I hope.
There we are.
Yep, just inviting one person. Where is he? Okay, so everyone on the intermediates. So we see.
And Lewis Ham being the first one to leave the pit lane on the intermediate tire checking out the track to see if it's possible to set a lap.
Now everyone seems to be heading out on track. It should be drying near the end of this session from what I have heard, so we'll have to see.
A lot of people leaving the pit lane at the same time. Hopefully they won't come together during their out laps. It's important to make gaps so you don't crash into each other during your bunker laps.
Yep. So,
Austria is a very tight track, a very short lap as well, one of the shortest tracks in the entire Formula 1 calendar. So milliseconds can decide your position during qualifying.
yep. So let's read out who is attending this race and this qualifying session at the moment. In the Sauber we have Infinity and Justin Maguire. In the McLaren we have Zero and D Maggie. D Maggie is P2 in the standing, 75 points, just behind Meshu, who has 120 points. Now, speaking of Meshu, the Ferraris has Meshu and Enzo. Then the Red Bulls with Sam and UK Ethan. The Visa Cash App RB, the sister racing Bulls team, has only one driver today, Curly racing for them. Then the Aston Martins has Louis Hammy and the Young Victim. And to round everything out, we have Mercedes and Alpine. Alpine having Jablinski and Mercedes having Harry and Akehor. So let's head on board with the first laps. Who is on lap?
I would also like to inform our dear Tier 2 drivers that tire warming does not exist in the wet weather, so don't even try to weave, because that's not gonna heat up your tires, it's only gonna ruin them. Because I've seen a couple of people attempting to heat up their tires, which just does not exist in wet, at least in F1 24.
Yep.
You don't see real life drivers doing either.
As you can see,
We are now watching Icicle Mountains really struggling with the car. The rain coming down very quickly. He's about to go past the penultimate turn, now going to the final turn, sliding all the way through, keeping it within the track limits and setting a 1:14.024. That is a provisional pole position, but it's definitely possible to set a better lap time.
now Akehor finishing his lap with a 1:14.1, only about half a tenth behind Infinity. Close gap here. Let me check one thing really quick. Yep. Okay, so let's continue. As Enzo in the Ferrari sets a 1:15.4, with Young Victim going to P1 with a 1:13.8, the only driver at the moment in the 1:13s. As we do know, the tires, the track, it's gonna get better over time as D-Mag goes to P1 with a 1:13.1. We could just see the track evolution going into play here. The track getting better and better every single minute we drive here.
Zero sets the fastest lap at 1:12.795. That's over 4 tenths than D Magi in second with a 1:13.1.80. The McLaren pair currently sitting in a 1-2. Over a second in front of P3, Young Victim in the Aston Martin.
Now we see Akehor improving.
Improves his lap time, going up to P3, just 4 tenths behind the McLaren pair.
Now, I'm pretty sure Enzo is on the lap here. What can he do? He is down on his personal best lap time, so that's not a competitive lap for him. 2.6 seconds down on the leader. Now, let's see.
Let's watch Harry all the way through, who is now starting his second flying lap, I believe, going off the racing line to cool his tires, approaching turn 3, the heaviest braking point in the entire circuit, trying not to lock up, hitting the apex, now down on the throttle, using the battery, going through the gears 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, approaching turn 5, a corner that's very easy to lock up into. Be sure to hit the apex here or you'll end up in the gravel. Now, I believe that's a Ferrari in front. That's gonna be some sweet slipstream for the Mercedes driver, as Icicle Mantis sets a 112.4 in the kick Sauber, 0.072 tenths ahead of 0 in the McLaren, as Harry goes through the S section, approaching the penultimate turn with 40% battery left, downing it all, trying to reach his top speed. Now, important not to lose the car here, and he's just invalidated his lap time, I believe, but he's still continuing it. Yes, he has just invalidated, but it would have been a 113.360. I believe that time would have put him into P6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So as we see young victims separating the two McLarens heading up into P3 there in the Aston Martin. We have seen Infinity, or Icy Cool Mantis as we see his name in the game, took pole last time out in Bahrain, so we see him continue his form. As since we're next to Harry here, we can see the track is fully dry now by the looks of it, not raining at all. So some drivers should be bolting on the pair of slick tires to the end of the qualifying session and ramping up the track pace.
Yes, as that's Sam starting a lap, even though the track is almost completely dry, he's still on a set of intermediates, or maybe intermediates are the fastest lap at all, at Akohor sets a 111.4 over a second ahead of Icicle Mantis, which could change the qualifying a lot. It could bring a lot of data for the drivers and really question if they really want to switch onto the slicks that early.
Yeah, just track is getting better and better every single lap. Everyone that's setting, Sam should be heading on a competitive lap here. As we can see, that DRS has been enabled since the track is drying every second. As UK Ethan on the Red Bull goes P1 with a 111.1. Let's see what his teammate
is gonna
do.
set even a better time. Yes, a 110.9. That's a Red Bull 1.2 at the moment. And now that the track is dry, all of the drivers are going to put on a set of softs and go for 1 or 2 more tries in this session.
As we can see, drivers heading out on the soft compound of tires. If I'm not mistaken, Louis Hamy and Aston Martin will be the first one to do it. Now he's on his out lap. Let's go on board with him for his whole lap and see what he can do on this slick.
Now going through, getting a good exit, opening the DRS, starting his lap right now. Using the battery just a little bit. You still got to be careful not to spin, because there's still some wet spots on the track. Going over that curb, not losing a lot of momentum now, down the straight, up to turn 3. Let's see how much traction he's able to get through this turn with the damp conditions of the track. Does not hit the apex very well, loses a bit of time, but that should still be an improvement to the intermediate runners.
Yep. So let's see what he's gonna be doing in the second sector. How much as he goes really
he
wide.
locks up, and that's the end of his lap. You really got to be careful with the traction now. The conditions are very tricky.
Now we can see another soft runner going down into turn 3 here, going down the gears, maximum brake pressure. We see him going up the gears now. DRS flap wide open, using just this hot lap of ERS mode, and now going into turn 4, hitting the apex.
That's very late braking. Very nice of him, maximizing the track there. As now he enters the S section. This is going to be very hard. He gets great rotation through here. Really impressive.
Yep. Now D-Maggie goes P1 for 105.5. We can see the track is so much quicker, 5 seconds out of P2. As we can see, Jablinski almost invalidating there, just on the brink of track limits. Now where does he go with this lap? He goes P1 with a 104.9, the only one in the 104s at the moment. D-Mag just 6 tenths behind him, but the closest competitor behind them is 6 seconds behind him. We can see just how much the track is improving. And on the medium,
as Zero retires and leaves the session. I believe he got disconnected.
As we see on the mediums, going to top of the field at the moment with a 104.5. Good effort by him. We'll see what he can do later on with the softs, but he's looking in prime contention to take pole position, the Sauber driver here.
I wish Tier 1 had this amount of drivers participating.
Me too.
That's Akohor beginning his bunker lap with the V-Carb driver backing out of his lap for some reason, probably thinking that he's not going to be able to stay far away and he's going to ruin his lap by himself. Akohor going down the back straight.
Already
Let's see what he's able to do.
Sector 1. Now hits the apex quite neatly, back on the throttle strongly. This could be a good lap since we see the track is just getting so much
and
better.
we were already rays of sunshine there. It went from completely wet to completely dry so incredibly quickly. It's insane how quickly the weather can change.
Now using his ERS, only 20% left, going on to the penultimate corner, taking it just a tiny bit of a lift, now going down to 4th gear and going up the gears, opening the DRS lap wide open using the ERS. Where does he go? A P3, 5/10 behind P1 with a 105.0.
As that is young victim just beginning his lap on the medium compound. We've just seen him go through turn 1, as now he's approaching turn 3, already down on battery, as UK Eaton says the first lap, a 104.2.
And Meshu just
the
behind
track is
him.
really improving. That's actually tier 1 times. That would place him like P5, P6.
Yeah, Meshu just behind him, just very close gap there. 13 thousandths behind him. Now let's see what young victim can put on the table here. Of course, he is on the medium tires, not too competitive. These tires are in qualifying. But
Keep in mind, Infinity was also on the medium tires and he's still sitting in P3, just 2 tenths down.
yeah,
so the mediums are still quite good.
Now young victim only 3 tenths up. That would put him about P5, as we see the other Red Bull of Sam going to P4. Only 3 tenths down on his teammate who's on provisional pole at the moment. Now let's see what young victim can do. And he invalidates his lap time on the penultimate corner. Now
would have been a very good lap. I think that would have put him into pole.
Yeah.
We're now watching Cree FN5 finish his lap time, improves his time and his position, now up in P9.
Now less than boy, improving by 1.3 seconds out of sector 1. Now into turn 4, down the gears, down into 3rd gear. I missed the apex just a tiny bit, but that shouldn't hurt his lap too much if he can nail this final sector. Now going a bit wide. We see a yellow flag, but that shouldn't be anything. Maybe just a driver letting by another driver to not impede them. Now, going on to the penultimate corner with 35% battery left. What can he do here? He is on the soft compound of tires, and the track is getting better. This should be a pretty competitive lap time, but let's see. Up the gears. Where does he go? A 106.7, only P12 for him. Only 2.4 seconds separating P1 and P12. And P4 and P1, only 3 tenths. So let's see if anyone else is on lap. As we see his teammate, who is in P3, who did set his lap on the mediums before, now starting his lap. Maybe gonna get a bit of slipstream later in the lap, but let's see. But was that a bit of backing out, or we'll have to see.
Ooh, that's a big opposite lock, saving his time there. But I think he's already lost a lot of time from that.
Yeah.
Touching the grass, that's a very messy lap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't look like he's gonna.
If I were him, I would back out already, and I believe he is backing out.
Yep. So we see Akohor, who was really competitive in the last race. If I'm not mistaken, he got a P2 in the end. Well, let's see what he can do. Let's head on board with his lap now. Going on his out lap, just on the penultimate corner. Let's see on the soft compound of tires. Only 3 minutes left in the session, so let's see what Akohor can do here.
Make sure not to invalidate on the last corner of your outlap. That would be horrible for him, as he would have to do another outlap. Now, turn 1, hit the apex well, maximizing the track on the exit, opening DRS, using battery, as we've got a yellow flag in sector 3. I believe that's just a slow moving car waiting to mate a gap. So nothing serious happening there. Alcohol goes through turn 3. Turn 4 now, going down to turn 4. Now another heavy braking on brake at the 100-meter mark. Nicely done, close to the apex, very nice, very tight. Now, the S section, get close to the curb on the right, make sure not to go into the gravel. The second S corner, maximizing the track on entry, maximizing the track on exit as well.
6 tenths up.
And
This
now,
could be a
using
provisional
just
pole.
a little bit of his battery, make sure you have something left. Another yellow flag, but it's quickly replaced with a green one. Just not invalidate now. Use the curb on the inside, and as it stands, that will not be pole position, but P3, a tenth and a half behind UK Eaton and Meshu in P2.
Now, we see the Red Bull in P5 on his lap now, 2 tenths down. D-Mag going slow to let other cars by. Now, the championship leader on his outlap. Let's see what he can do. He's only 13 thousandths behind P1 at the moment. Now we see some slow moving cars ahead, just letting him by. Now, going on to the final corner, about to start his lap. Mesher is. Let's see, what can he do? Can he take pole position? We do know he likes his qualifying sessions. He likes his pole position points. Let's see. As he is up just by over half a tenth, that would put him to provisional pole position. So this is a good effort so far. Let's see what he can do in the end. Now down the gears in turn 4, hitting the apex very nicely, using just a tiny bit of battery with his hot lap mode. Doesn't have that much battery left compared to other drivers who use it earlier in the lap. Later in the lap, sorry, but he is one of the best qualifiers on the grid, so let's see what he can do. Going on to the penultimate corner, practically nothing left on the ERS as he invalidates the lap, and he doesn't have enough time to start a new one. What has happened there for him? Now, the Sauber in P5, improving by 2.5 tenths, and he has a big snap here. This could be a pole position lap if he nails it in the end. The top 3 have finished the session and cannot improve their laps anymore. What can the Sauber do? Going down into the 4th turn. Hits the apex nicely. Going up the gears now. 40% on the battery left. We see the Red Bull in P4 improving just a tiny bit. Won't be enough for pole position. Now through this S section. Going almost flat out, if I'm not mistaken, on that corner. Now, only 20% battery left. Going on to the penultimate corner. Can Infinity take pole position here in VDRL round 7? Now, on the final corner. No ERS left. What can he do? Up the gears. The DRS lap wide open as he takes P3. There's not enough in the end. Almost identical lap time to Akahor. As we see UK Ethan take pole position for VDRL round 7 Austria. Do you have any thoughts about that, Colas?
That was very close, just as we expected. The track is very short, so the gaps are very small as well. UK Ethan in the Red Bull taking pole position with a time of 1:04.266 with Meshu, who should have been the pole runner, but invalidated on the penultimate corner, unfortunately, who's in P2, just 0.013 behind.
Yeah, very close qualifying session in the end there. Just wasn't enough for the Sauber. Probably that mistake in turn 3 cost him the pole position. But let's see, anything can happen in the race. Maybe it'll be wet again. Let's see, now we're going to be on the starting grid just in a few moments time. The drivers will be selecting their strategy now, as we see is dry conditions. So we're gonna be on the opening lap anytime soon. Alright, Colas. How do we commentate?
Predictions?
Predictions? I think Mesh is gonna win.
I think it's going to be close between Infinity and Meshu as well. Maybe Ethan as well. He's going to hold on to P1. But honestly, with such a tight pack, anything can happen.
Yep. How do we not interrupt each other?
Hmm.
Maybe you say Like we say K, and when you say K, that means the other one has to talk.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Who does the lights out?
um, you you can do it.
Okay.
Alright. I'll maybe talk over you a little bit, you know,
Okay.
during the start. Like, we'll have to see what happens. So, now, starting the race. And it's lights out, and away we go. UK Ethan has an alright start, and he keeps the lead into turn one. No, as we see a Red Bull going a bit deep, as we see a big collision in the back. What has happened there? Has
I
anyone?
believe that Celestin Boy and Oscar are very fine behind in a crash. A lot of people are lagging there. Now going out to turn 3, going... Oh, the Sauber hits Meshu from the back. A lot of people going off track. That's like IndyCar track limits there. As now we are watching Icicle Mantis, so Infinity, going down to turn 4. A lot of people are trying dive bombs down there.
You see, everyone is on the
As
mediums.
Meshu is right on Ethan's gearbox, not letting him pull away at all. He wants that win for his championship fight.
Now, if the race would finish like this, Meshu would be World Drivers Champion for Tier 2 of VDRL. But anything can happen. Any safety car. There's still 35 laps left to go. So let's see what happens here. Now, the DRS will be enabled. Will Meshu go for? As we see D-Mag, the championship contender, retire. And that's his
I
championship.
believe he hit the wall on the inside of the last corner. So that's very unfortunate for him.
That's
as
his,
we have a virtual safety car.
That's his championship's over. And now, we believe Meshu is your VDRL World Drivers Champion. Okay,
Wait, right now,
right
due to DMAC, the DNFing, no one else can challenge Meshu anymore, right?
Yes. I
So
think,
that's a very early championship win there.
yeah. So, congrats to Meshu on the championship. But as we see the possible race strategies, a 2-stop or a 1-stop, medium to hard, or a medium to hard. We'll have to see. Now the virtual safety car should be going out any second now. Still
I
yellow.
believe still yellow. I believe we're going to be restarting at the start finish line.
As we see Meshu and UK Ethan both get a drive-through penalty. That is some big drivers getting that. We'll have to see how that works out later in the race for them. But now let's see this race. The DRS should be enabled as we see. Yes, the flap open for the Sauber driver in P2. Will he go for a move now? DRS wide open, gaining on UK Ethan down into turn 3. Will he go down the inside? And he goes down the inside. Side by side they go. Just a tiny bit of contact. UK Ethan keeps the lead. But Icicle Bandits has the DRS. Will he go for a move again? Let's see it.
We got a yellow flag in sector 2. I believe there was contact in the hairpin as well.
As we see
That's
him going
Enzo
down the
in last
inside.
as they are side by side. They are side by side. The Sauber driver not letting Ethan go at all. Will they try to go side by side through the S section as well? No, they won't. But Ethan has to beat very shortly, just as Meshu, who's now down in P5, having a very difficult race start. I think they should beat right now to avoid any further complications in the race. And yes, looks like Meshu is diving into the pit lane to serve his penalty, but Ethan is still staying out. Infinity breathing right on his bass.
As Infinity trying to go down the inside of turn 1, and he gets the DRS for the next straight, and he takes the lead of the race. So we have a new race leader, Infinity, who almost won last time, but the penalties and the last lap mistake just made him miss out on the win and get a P3 finish in the end after penalties. Now we see in the back a Red Bull and an Alpine fighting for the last podium position. Curly gets a 3-second time penalty due to multiple warnings. Now Akerhorn
A lot
P5.
of early track limits penalties there.
Yeah, a lot of people struggling. Of course, this track is known to be not the easiest, as we see Meshu's teammate heading out of the pit lane there. So Meshu, the whole Ferraris having a horrible race, P14 and P15 at the moment. Of course, they are the championship leaders by quite a margin, and the drivers who are P2 are the Red Bulls, and they're having an amazing race. So we'll have to see what that does to the Constructors' Championship. If the race would finish like this, see UK Ethan hopping into the pits now. Okay.
Lewis Hammy, 44, gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limits violations. Yet another driver to get that penalty. As Icy Kulmantis is pulling away from Jablinski just ever so slightly, trying to break the DRS. And with Jablinski having pressure from the Red Bull behind, he's probably able to do that quite early, as a few drivers already have 6-second time penalties. That's actually quite interesting.
Something happened to Egehor in the Mercedes. Big moment there as we see someone, I think there was an incident between Sam and Jablinski there. We see a yellow flag in the back as well. What has happened there? That is Meshu, if I'm not mistaken. Will he go down the inside here? He's staying back, but there was something that happened here. Now we see in the top fight as well. Now for the top 5, Young Victim and Harry fighting. They are out of the DRS of the top 3, and Sam is out of the DRS of the Sauber in P1. What has happened there? Now he's back in it just by a little bit.
They're all so close to each other, the entire top 6 being separated by less than 5 seconds. As now we can see Zero, the McLaren, trying to get past Akohor, using almost his entire battery, as Oscar gets yet another penalty, a 10-second one for spinning in the pit lane, now having a total of 16 seconds, only getting closer to disqualified from the session.
Now Young Victim going around the outside to try and overtake the Mercedes. A bit of contact there, and Young Victim goes off the track just a tiny bit, so the Mercedes keeps the position, but the Mercedes does have a 6-second time. And let's go back to the front of the field. The top 3 separated just by 0.6 of a second. As we see Jablinski have a big moment there, going wide out. We see the Red Bull just closing that gap to Infinity in P1, who goes wide there. That will maybe be a track limit warning for him, and he goes around again, so he seems to be struggling on that medium compound of tires. Now the Red Bull getting past him very easily there, but keep in mind the Sauber will have DRS back into the next turn. Let's see what happens here.
He's already low on fuel. Are you seeing the warning on the bottom of his screen? He's under-fueled. He's gonna have to be fuel saving at the end of this to not run out. That's very interesting.
We see a
and yet another penalty, as Harry now has a total of 9-second track limit penalties in the span of 7 laps.
It's already been 7 laps? It only feels like it's been 3, very...
Yeah, this is a very short track.
Yeah. So, we see Infinity getting past the Red Bull. Very close gaps here in the top 3. Zero in P4, 4 seconds behind them. He will be benefiting if they are fighting. He will be gaining to them. You see Akehor also in P5. Akehor used to be our commentator back in Season 2. Now...
I remember. He used to read my name as Quillis for some reason.
Now, as we see Oscar getting a speeding penalty, has a 20-second penalty now. I don't know what has happened.
26 seconds. What on earth is he doing down there?
Yeah, not the best for him. But let's see the top 3 now. Will the Sauber go down? Will it make it 3 wide? No. As we see, maybe a bit of game lag there, because that's a bit weird. But let's see, will anyone go for a move now into these next corners? Oh, he's really close, but just not close enough to go for a move. Now, we see Akehor. Will he go for a move on Zero? He tries to go for it, but Zero breaks later than him. Zero stays ahead of him. A lot of penalties in the field, but the top 4 seem to be clean of them.
Yet, if one of them gets a track limit penalty, that can really shake up the final result, as he would have to pull away massively from the other 3. So we are seeing Jablinski having a little snap doing through the penultimate corner. That curb there is very slidey. You got to be careful not to lose your car over there.
Yep. And now, will Infinity go for a move into turn 3? Will we see a Norris Verstappen incident? Let's see what happens here. He's going, he has the overspeed. They're going side by side now. What will happen here? As Jablinski just pulls ahead slightly, and the Red Bull of Sam doesn't seem to battle it too much. As we see Zero in P4, who's just a couple of laps ago, he was 4 seconds behind the lead. Now he's only 3 seconds. He could be in contention for the win if he can catch up, or if they get some penalties.
Are you seeing how much penalties some of them are having right now? Like, look at Oscar, Lewisham, and Harry. They are already over 10 seconds worth of penalties. That's really dangerous for them.
Yeah, really strange. Just struggling, I guess. This track isn't the easiest. We see a yellow flag for the Ferrari come out there.
That's Enzo. I believe he spun. As I think he has a little front wing damage.
Let's see. Yes, he's losing an end plate on the right there. Now, let's get back to the front of the field, where the Red Bull will be threatening the Sauber, going for a move, but he just stays back. He doesn't think he has. As we see, a lot of locking for the Sauber, and now he's ghosting because he has had a big moment. Now, will the Red Bull have a chance to overtake him now, going side by side? And the Sauber pulls back. He doesn't want to fight him. He can see the drivers behind him. They're gaining every lap to them. They could be in the fight for the win just yet.
That Jablinski keeping up with it. Oh, that's a big snap for him, and big snap for Infinity, losing the place to Jablinski. Jablinski going through now, trying to put up a challenge to Sam in first, as Mesher and UK Ethan are still fighting through the field. Their win hopes are completely gone thanks to the drive-through penalty they got over a virtual safety car infringement right at the end. That's Icicle Mantis hitting Jablinski just ever so slightly. He's really underfueling. His fuel light no longer flashing, it's on completely. Meaning he's really gotta be careful at the end to not ruin his race.
He really needs a safety car at this point. Now they can't fight too much. They don't want to lose DRS to the top one, as we see. Was that a crash? We see.
Yes, that is a crash.
Harry.
Where exactly is he?
That is turn 3. The runoff in turn 3.
That looked very strange. Almost like he just didn't break into the corner. So
yeah, we'll have to see if we can see some replays after the race. But as we see, Icicle Mantis is going off the track on the final sector. What has happened there? That's leading to Akehor getting up into the podium position. This is horrible for him. First, doesn't have fuel. Now he is off the track. What are your thoughts on all of this?
I believe his win chances are over unless a safety car happens, which is still very possible with over 14 laps to go. No, not 14, 24. Sorry. 24 laps to go, still in this race, so a lot can happen. We're only on lap 12, as we can see. Another driver
taking the lead, the new race leader of VDRL at the moment, but can the Red Bull go for a move and take the position back? Now going around the outside.
Goes around the outside of the turn. They are side by side. Red Bull almost going off, but he keeps being side by side, and they go side by side through the S's. They are ghosting into each other as Jablinski goes off, allowing Akehor to get even closer.
Now
he's gonna go off again.
In the DRS, and now Jablinski is out of the DRS. He needs to get back in it, but now from out of nowhere, Zero and Akehor, they're in this win fight. Well, maybe Akehor not so much since he does have that 6-second time penalty. But Zero, who had some strong pace last time out, he could be hoping for the win this race.
Yes, exactly. A lot happened right now, as we can see Zero going through turn 1 and Akehor trying to somehow get past Jablinski, and that looked to me like Meshu and UK Ethan are trying to work together so they can reach the top
Yeah.
faster, which is very clever of them.
Yeah, I thought about that too. But we see Jablinski struggling on his battery percentage. This will mean that Akahor could have a chance to go for a move, maybe even on the next lap. As we see
Lewis Hamilton gets yet another penalty. He's now on 22 seconds. His two penalties, and he's just retired.
Safety car, safety car.
That
Crashed
looked
on the final
intentional to me.
corner.
As we've got a safety car, which is
Wait,
just
let's
perfect for some of our drivers.
Yeah, some drivers like Icicle Mantis, who crashed and doesn't have enough fuel to finish the race. Very good for him. Now this will shake up the order quite a lot. We'll see who will be pitting. As we see everyone here pulling into the pits, the whole top 5 into the pits now. Now Meshu also into the pits. UK Ethan also into the pits. Everyone is peeling into there to go for what tire. Let's see what tire is everyone going on to. The hard compound of tires.
Well, Barca boy wasn't soft. That safety car absolutely ruined his strategy. I think he was attempting a medium, soft, medium.
Yeah.
But now with the safety car in place, his strategy got really shaken up. I believe he's going to switch onto the hards now. We're gonna see that in a second, as he's just
As we see Curly going
entering
onto the softs
his
and
pit box.
Barca boy, yeah, he's going onto the hards, but Curly on the softs.
As Oscar PA gets another penalty. I believe he's now at 32 seconds.
That is
That's
lot.
like a world record.
Yeah. So, Akahor, with the 6-second time penalty, that is hurting him a lot. He will be beating himself up for that. That could just lose his chances of winning this race, but we'll still have to see. Anything can happen. As we see just Icicle Mantis who gone off, who didn't even have enough fuel, but now he's back in it. Seems to be good on fuel for the moment. And yeah, that saved his race. That saved Meshu's race and UK Ethan's race, who's made a critical mistake at the start of the race, getting a virtual safety car drive-through penalty. Very crucial also for the Ferrari outfit, since the Red Bulls seem to be doing a lot better than them this race, and they are P2 in the standings. Only 60 points behind them. That's a big gap the Red Bulls have to close, but if the Ferraris don't
It's possible. It's really... Oh, that was close to contact between Ethan and Meshu. You really have to be cautious going through the safety car, as it's Lesson Boy coming up the track during the safety car. They are trying to make up the gap before the safety car ends.
Yeah, from what I see, the guy in P11, he's here, and the guy in P12 is behind the guy in P13. Because he's a lap down.
So is Oscar Piastri already a lap down?
Yeah, we can see from the gap, 1 minute 1 second behind.
That's interesting.
I mean, he does have 22 seconds of time penalties. 32 before, but he served one. I mean,
now, let's see. I believe this is the lap when the safety car will go back into the pit lane to allow us to get more racing action. Jablinski currently leading the race with... Oh, that's contact, and...
Safety car in this lap.
Is that going to be a 10-second time penalty? I don't think so, as we've got safety car in this lap. Jablinski is setting the pace for the start. It's an Alpine sandwich at the moment.
Now let's keep our eyes on the second McLaren of Zero. He does seem to have strong pace. He was catching a lot of them, and he doesn't have any penalties, unlike Akahor ahead of him. We'll have to see what he can do. But now, let's get our eyes on the top two, Jablinski and Sam. What will happen there, and also any incidents behind him. Now Jablinski going early, trying to blitz the field. What will be here?
Now, going into turn 1 in a single file, Jablinski will try to run away from the pack, hoping to break the DRS, as that's one of the Aston Martins going off. That's the young victim hitting the wall on the outside of turn 1. As now we're reaching turn 3, a lot of overtaking action down the pack, people going
As I
side
see
by
Cool
side
Mantis goes
everywhere.
down the inside of Zero, and that will open the door to Meshu to try and overtake Zero. But he seems to be staying back for the moment. Now, Icy Command is going down the inside. He's trying to carve through the field all the way from P5 now up to P3, just in a matter of sectors, really. Now, he seems to be back in the fight for this win, even after his crucial mistake. This safety car has played right into his hands here.
Exactly, he's going to be very thankful that this safety car happened right at that moment, as Meshu gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits infringements. He's going to be very mad about this, as he tries to get past Zero, who's defending his position, not letting him go for any moves.
Now Akahor right behind Icy Mantis will try and go for a move since the DRS is enabled now. He seems to have not the best exit, so I think he will be staying back, but he's gaining a lot on him, but I don't think it will be enough in the end. Now we see the McLaren staying as Meshu has a brilliant exit and now going side by side with Zero going into turn 4.
The McLaren not leaving him any space at all, as Meshu takes the inside and takes the position as well. Zero having to back out, now having Ethan right on his back. Meshu probably has the deal sealed unless he makes a mistake. As now Sam gets even closer to Jablinski, now within 2/10 of him, going to the main stretch. This is going to be very vital. Now we're entering the penultimate corner, some right centimeters away from Jablinski, the entire pack being separated by seconds. Now opening the DRS, Jablinski is battery saving, hoping to play ERS games, is ghosting for some reason, as Sam does not get a good exit onto the straight, but now he has DRS, goes down the inside, and so does Infinity, as we got a caution. That was Jablinski going into the grass. And we've got another caution, that's Zero.
Getting up into P1 now, all the way from P5, just 2 laps to go when the safety car restarted. He's in P1. This safety car has saved his life and he can win this race. His first win in VDRL, if I'm not mistaken, ever. We'll have to see what happened, but Zero, yeah, from what you said, we see Zero here has had a big incident there.
That's horrible for him. He went from being at the back to fighting his way to the front furiously. Now at the back again, and I think, oh, that's bad.
Infinity, no. We see almost all of the drivers having a 3-second time penalty. Or more. This is crucial for the race results. Infinity was carving his way through the field with brilliant pace, but now, look at him. Jablinski looking to be the favorite for the win, but maybe not, since the Red Bull has almost 90% battery and Jablinski has about none. Will he go for a 2-way move? Will it be 3 wide into turn 3? Now it's only 2 wide, but the Red Bull, will he have a through goes Hamilton type of moment? He does have the DRS now and the better exit as Icy Mantis goes down to P4 even from P1 just in a couple of turns. Meshu has a perfect view of this battle here. Sam going down the inside of Jablinski. Jablinski going wide off the track, and that will mean Icy Mantis gets up into P3. This is some amazing racing at the moment. Very hard racing as well. We see
yes, very hard but very beautiful racing as well. No one's really pushing each other off, and contact like this just happens during races. As now Jablinski is still there, Alcohol getting another penalty, now having a total of 9 seconds. Sam ending up in P1, and Meshu fighting his way from dead last after his drive-through penalty, now back into P2, back into the contention for the win. If Sam gets a penalty, this can mean that Meshu has done a brilliant drive today, truly incredible for him, and truly a drive of a champion, as Oscar Piastri has now a total of 29-second penalties. How exactly has he made up over a minute in the last lap?
I have no clue actually, but I think it's just because Zero has lost so much time that since Zero lost so much time, he gained so much time on him, you know?
Yeah, that could make sense.
Now,
As
now.
Meshu and Sam going almost side by side, but Sam backs out, not wanting to risk it just yet. Still 16 laps to go, anything can happen. Now, Jablinski, UK Ethan, and Sam and Enzo, or no, sorry, Zero, the last 3 drivers in this race without any track limit penalties. Now, Infinity is going to have a great setup for this straight, hoping to make some positions. Sam goes through, Meshu drops to P3, and now will Infinity try a move into turn 3? Yes, he will. They are side by side into turn 3, the Red Bull and the Sauber, but Sam keeps the position.
Yep. As we see, Infinity going down the inside into turn 4. A bit of contact at the above moment, and Infinity has a massive moment into the wall with Meshu. What is happening there? That is a reset the track. That will be a 3-second penalty after the race, since you cannot reset the track as Zero gets a fastest lap. But what has happened there? A crucial incident in the race.
Not gonna lie, I think he would have lost more time backing out himself than getting that 3-second penalty from resetting the track. I think that was a very strategic thinking there. Now, Sam gets a 3-second time penalty. As things stand, Jablinski is the net winner of this race. That would be his debut win, I believe, or at least his maiden win.
UK Ethan, who's in P8, a lot of people with penalties ahead of him. He could be getting some positions.
But that's an absolute roller coaster of emotions for Meshu. He is now down to P6, with UK Ethan down in 8th, but his championship rival is out, so I believe if Meshu just makes a couple more positions, he could win the championship right in this race. As Jablinski, still right on Sam, putting the pressure on. Sam not playing those games though, he does not allow Jablinski to go for any moves here.
Now let's get on board with Meshu trying to crawl his way back onto the top 5 at least. Now on the penultimate corner, more battery than the driver ahead, almost 50% more battery. But as we see, Icicle Mantis gets another 3-second time penalty. That means Meshu already, just by these penalties, would be up into P4 if he overtakes his Aston Martin, up into P3 if I'm not mistaken, as Aston Martin gets a 3-second time penalty. And now Meshu going for the move. We see at the front also another move, but let's see this. As we see, now back to the front. Maybe a bit of a moment for Akehor. We saw him struggling on traction, but now let's see this from Akehor's POV.
What exactly happened? Why was Infinity ghosted there? I think something's wrong with the game, because Meshu just went right through him.
Yeah.
But
don't know what happened there, but we see Meshu's teammate fighting with the other Sauber. So both the Saubers and both the Ferraris fighting each other. Now Akehor right on
Meshu getting another penalty, now having a total of 6 seconds, but if as things stand, he would be P4.
He would be the champion. Even I'm pretty sure even if he DNFs, he's the champion. Now, oh my god! What a crash has happened there! What is there? I can't even put that into words. Quolis?
Yeah, that's not good for either the Red Bull or Akehor, as now they allowed Jablinski to completely get away with it, having a huge moment in turn 3. They locked wheels. The physics of the game being not that good means they got stuck inside of each other for a second. As Oscar Piastri just DNF'd, probably retired on his own, realizing that he's not in contention in this race anymore. As now Akehor will try to fight back, but Meshu, if he keeps it like this, he would be on the final podium position.
What to Infinity?
Oh yeah, Infinity is just dropping back even more. He's now in P8. That's a
what
disaster
has
for
happened
him.
there? Maybe he has damage. Let's check his front wing. No, he doesn't.
Doesn't look like damage.
Um,
As Lesson Boy gets another 3-second time penalty.
but we see Akahor and the Red Bull already closing the gap, getting almost back into the DRS. So now we see Jablinski and Akahor getting back into the DRS of Jablinski. Jablinski doesn't seem to have the best pace this race, but he doesn't get any penalties, so that would promote him to win his maiden victory here in VDRL of Tier 2. We'll still have to see the final result. Any safety car could change this up. Just a tiny mistake by him could lead to Sam maybe getting the win, since he only has a 3-second time penalty. Now, Barca Boy gets another 3-second penalty. Everyone who has penalties except Sam has at least a 6-second time penalty. That is horrible for them. But we see UK Ethan in P6, who doesn't have any penalties.
Vixen getting another penalty, now a total of 9 seconds, as Akohor will maybe try a switchback there. No, he has a moment going out of turn 3. Jablinski pulls away just ever so slightly, but now Akohor will probably... Oh, that's a move from Sam, hitting the back of Jablinski, but he gets P2. Akohor now down in P4, P3.
Now, from what I'm seeing, the Red Bull of UK Ethan, if he finishes like this, he would be getting a podium, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe
UK Ethan.
UK
Yeah, he would be on the podium right now.
Yeah, he just needs to keep the pace up and he could be on for a podium. Now this is on board with UK Ethan right behind Young Victim. The drivers who don't get penalties are benefiting massively this race. Now, the top
Let's
3
watch.
separated just by 2 tenths.
Let's see what UK Ethan is doing for a second, because he is getting closer to Young Victim. Probably going to get past this turn. But, oh yeah, he's right on his ass. Let's switch on to UK Ethan for a second, please. As I believe he is going through around the outside of Young Victim.
Yep.
As Lesson Boy
That's Young
now have a
Victim
total of 12
going
seconds.
back, trying to re-overtake, and he does re-overtake. But
Oh, that's moving under braking, but they stay together. UK Ethan still keeps the place.
Yeah, UK Ethan up into P5 now. This would lead him to get a podium position. As we see Meshu back into P4. Good race.
Yeah, that's incredible fighting there. As things stand, he would get P3 thanks to Akohor's penalties. Now, but as we're talking about Akohor, he is about to make a move for P2 on Jablinski, and he will complete it going into turn 1 with Jablinski going off the track using the escape road to keep his composure. Icicle Montes, yet another penalty for him. That's a disaster for him.
Maybe Akahor pushed Jablinski a bit wide there, if I'm not mistaken. Now, only 9 laps left, 8.5 laps left. Now, Akahor, will he go down the inside? No, he stays back. At this point, yeah, UK Ethan could even get a P2 if he really ramps up the pace.
I don't really see that happening. It's only 8 laps left, around 10 minutes left of racing, so
Yeah.
I think Jablinski has the deal sealed for this one.
Jablinski, talking about him, he just had a massive snap. He can't be having those. If he crashes, that could give Sam the win and UK Ethan a P2. That would be a Red Bull 1-2 if Jablinski crashes here. Jablinski just needs to keep it on track, get this win, seal the deal. Of course, any of these penalties could get removed if they are unfair and deemed by the stewards with enough evidence, but Sam keeping the place for now. Jablinski! As
Oh, that's
Jablinski!
contact! They lock wheels yet again. Jablinski having to go off and avoiding the wall just ever so slightly.
Now, if Sam keeps up the pace, that could be a Sam winning as Igor going what? I think that's Jablinski's race over as Sam should win the race as Meshu up into P2. What has happened there? Chaos here. Looks like Sam is going to win the race.
And that's definitely going to penalty for Akahor for an unsafe rejoin.
Yeah.
Because
Now just that just killed Jablinski's hopes of winning. We were talking about him not making a mistake, not crashing. Someone else made a mistake, and that ruined his race.
it caused him to crash. UK Ethan gets a penalty, 3 seconds. Still looking for a podium position though.
Yeah,
Even for P2.
yeah, maybe even a P2 here, but now we see Akahor getting past Meshu.
Meshu not deciding not to take any fights. Akahor is locking his rears completely, for some reason not bringing the brake bias up.
Now Jablinski is the only one who doesn't have a penalty except Zero. Now let's go on board with Zero. We'll be going for a move on Curly for P11, and actually for the final points paying position, Zero gets up into P10.
Very nice job from him. Now Meshu will hope to stay close behind Akahor so he can get P2 at least.
Now Curly.
As things stand, he is the Tier 2 World Champion.
Yes, now Curly banging wheels with Zero. Jablinski gets a time penalty. Now the only one without a penalty is Zero. A lot of penalties given out this race, but any one of them could get removed. Keep in mind that the V Cup seems to be now struggling.
Ooh, he is sliding through. Tire wears very harsh. UK Ethan fighting with Infinity. This is the fight for P4 right now. But UK Ethan would be at P4. Maybe even at P3. That would be a double podium for Red Bull. Now, if it stays like this, Sam will win the Australian Grand Prix of Tier 2 Season 3. Did I say Australian?
Yes.
Oh, right.
It's very similar. Yeah, it does seem that he will win this race, but as we saw, it looked like Jablinski was gonna win this race. But look how
Akahor with another penalty. Now, Meshu's dumping down his battery, trying to go for a move on Akahor. He won't do it into turn 1, but probably will try to do it into turn 3. Now, DRS using his battery in the slipstream. Will he try a late dive bomb onto Akahor? He won't, but that's Lesson Boy with yet another penalty, now having a total of 15 seconds.
See no one battling at the moment except Meshu, Akahor, IC Commanders, and UK Ethan. As we see, a big
another snap for Akahor. Does Meshu have damage? I hope he doesn't, because that would only hurt his race.
He does not. Now, going on to the final 3-4 laps of this race, Enzo gets a 2-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Seems to have calmed down a bit, but Meshu hasn't calmed down. He still wants to get that P2, at least on track. Now,
and he has just faced through Akahor. Incredible move, very realistic, very great game from you, EA Sports.
Now, Meshu up into the DRS of Sam. This could be some fighting between the Red Bull and the Ferrari, maybe even an incident, which we have seen before. Jablinski looked like he's gonna win, but one simple incident lost him, and now he's down in P7, so anything can still happen here as Meshu is back in DRS. Let's see what's happened on the next lap.
Now, Infinity staying behind UK and hoping to at least have a fight with him. But he will not be getting P4 because the penalties are worth 6 seconds of lap time compared to Ethan.
Yes. Now Curly
Oh,
gets
that's 3. Yet another penalty.
Now Zero still the only one standing without track limit penalties. Now Meshu. Oh, as we see Agor going off and hitting the barriers on the final turn. What has happened there? But never.
That's race over for Alcohol, unfortunately. Even Jablinski gets past him. The man who lost his entire race thanks to Alcohol now will finish in front of
But
him.
now
That's
Meshu.
very
Will he
ironic.
go for a move? He stays back. Yeah, we saw Jablinski getting past
I
Agor.
think he's going to try to hold it in for the last lap so he can get it past on the last lap and have the deal sealed. Or no, actually. Meshu is going to try to take the way to place right now. Probably hopes that Sam is going to make a mistake that will cost him the penalty, allowing Meshu to win.
UK Ethan looking. Red Bull looking at a 1-2. This will be helping them a lot. That will be 40 points for them.
As
But
we
we
got a
see.
yellow flag, that's Enzo off in the distance into the gravel in the S section.
Oh, as we see. Incident between Zero and Leston Boy down, fighting for P9 on track here. Now let's get back to the race leaders. Will the Red Bull go for a move? This could be race changing. Just one tiny moment could give UK Ethan the win. One tiny moment. Anything could happen here. Now, let's see. Will he go for a move? Yes, he's going down the inside. Now going side by side. There, no contact yet. And they keep it clean. Now, the Meshu will have the DRS. Now he has the overspeed. He has the speed to take back the lead, as he does take back the lead. Amazing battling from these two. We'll have to see what will go on in the final lap, just in a few moments time. Now any of the drivers, as we see a yellow flag for the Visa Cash App RB and P11. Not very relevant at the moment. So let's head back on to the front two. For a second, Jablinski right behind Akehor, as we see there. So what will happen here now, Quolis?
I think Sam will win, unless he makes a crucial mistake that will mean he will get a 3-second time penalty. We are looking at a Red Bull 1-2 with Meshu taking the final spot on the podium. As we are now entering the final lap, Sam is going to have to very careful here. As Infinity gets past UK Ethan, but does that not change the final result of the race, as he has way too many penalties.
But it could,
But
if Meshu pushes hard enough, he could pull a gap to UK Ethan and get a P2 here.
I don't think that's possible.
But 3 seconds.
Or, actually, it is very possible. Right now, Meshu will be P3, but it will be... I'm a bit confused with the penalties, sorry about that. But Sam is currently leading.
No, but from what I am
Meshu.
seeing, Meshu has the P2 in the bag here.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's P2 for Meshu with
What
the
has
Red Bull
happened
taking
here?
the final spot. And that was contact between Barca Boy and Enzo, who's lapped now.
But now, going on to the final corner, Sam going to win in Austria, and my bad, Meshu taking the World Drivers' Championship with UK Ethan in P3 and Infinity in P4. Thoughts on the race, Colas?
Very interesting, a lot of action, great drive from Meshu, an absolute roller coaster for him, but that was still an incredible result for him, and we wish him the best, as he's now the Tier 2 World Champion for Season 3.
Yes, congratulations to him. A beautiful performance by him. His championship rival DNFing on the first lap of the race. But yeah, action-filled race. But now we're gonna head on to the post-race interviews, as we see Zero get up into P8 due to penalties after, since he did have no penalties. But now let's go on to the post-race interviews for everyone.
Yes, let's just wait for everyone to join.
Now, the interviews.
You could probably do an announcement. Oh yeah. Hello everyone, welcome to the commentary box and welcome to the post-race interviews.
Now, let's just wait for the top drivers to join up and then we can head on their way for the interviews.
Yes, let's wait for Sam to join. Hello Sam. We would like to congratulate you on your win in VDRL Australian Grand Prix for Tier 2. We can imagine that's an incredible feeling for you and you're very happy for that result.
Now,
Yeah.
can you take us through your race? What happened through everything in the race?
I mean, it was a very strong race. I started P5, and then I made my way up in the first lap up to like P3. And then there was a big incident in maybe halfway through between me, Acor, and someone else. I don't know what happened there. But I recovered, and then, Jabelinski, very unlucky for him. I mean, he was going to run away with it until we threw it away.
Are you hoping for more race wins this season?
Yeah.
Of course, only one round left, which will be in Saudi Arabia in Jeddah, a very tight street circuit. Now, a couple last words from you, and congratulations on you. You have anything to say?
Maybe I'll get P2 in the Drivers' Championship.
Okay.
Okay, we will keep that in mind. We wish you best of luck. Okay, now
Thank you.
we would like to welcome Meshu, the Tier 2 championship winner for this season. Meshu, please speak up. Hello, and
Hello, yeah.
Hello, Meshu. First of all, congrats on being the champion of VDRL and take us through that race. That was a roller coaster. You were P1 dead last from the drive-through. It was a very, very amazing race from you. Just take us through it.
Yeah, on the start, I think I was a bit stupid because of that drive-through on the VSC. And sorry, Ethan, that was my bad, my fault. So then I tried to push through the field and everything from that last, and I got lucky with the safety car. That was like really good for me, so I could catch up and anything of that. So yeah, I'm happy with the P2 for this recovery. So yeah, not that bad of a result.
Now, Corliss, do you have any questions for Meshu?
are you going to push for the championship next season as well? We definitely expect you to.
Yeah, of course. I'm always trying to give my best and try to do everything I have or I could do.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations again for your championships.
Thank you.
It looks like P3 Ethan is not in the commentary box. Oh no, sorry, he is in the commentary box, but under a different name. So Ethan, if you are the Ethan of the race, please tell us that.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, so congratulations on P3. What are your opinions on this race?
I mean, yeah, drove a good race, obviously starting from pole position, but unlucky with the drive-through penalty with Meshu. I think really we deserve to get the 1-2, and I think we will be able to win the constructors if we keep it going.
You got
Do you think it's possible for Red Bull to get the championship, even though of Ferrari's incredible advantage right now?
What? Pardon, can you say that again?
And do you think that Red Bull can push for the World Constructor Championship this season, or the gap to Ferrari is too big?
No, anything's possible. I think if we do have a good race in Jeddah, then we'll be able to win it.
Well, we'll have to see about that in Jeddah. Now, just take us through your race. What happened? A couple of incidents between you. Just take us through everything.
Yeah, I mean, at the start, had a good start, stayed in P1, and then obviously the virtual safety car came out, and then me and Meshu both got a drive-through penalty that kind of messed up everything in my race. So if we didn't have that, hopefully I could have been fighting for the win, but still take P3.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, now P4. I think it was Infinity in P4.
I can check really quick. Just give me 1 second. So in P4 it was, yes, Infinity. Infinity.
Unfortunately, he is not in this voice chat, so we will have to skip him. Now let's move on to P5.
Yep. So
Who
in
was
P5 is Young Victim or Sir Oscar Piastri. I
who
don't
is
see.
not here?
Yes. So we have Yablinski. Is he? Yes, Yablinski. Can you hear
Hello.
us? Hello.
Yes, hello.
You were in prime contention for the win, but just that incident between you and Egor messed that up. Really great race from you. Take us through what happened there.
I think it was coming out of turn 2, I believe. I might not be sure.
Turn four.
But, yeah, turn 4. Basically, I ended up going just around the outside. I was thinking of going a switchback, but I kept with it. And I'm guessing he didn't notice, but he kind of veered into me, went off track. It was unlucky.
I would
I
like
went
to
back
ask
up.
the drivers who has already completed their race interviews to leave the voice chat, as we have only a 10-player limit here. So if you have completed your interview, we would really like you to leave now. Thank you and see you next week.
May I continue?
Yes.
Yes,
of
please
course.
continue.
Yeah, thanks. Then going into the following corner, the Merc ended up spinning into my path. I couldn't get around in time, ended up just getting into a wall and just got unlucky there. I tried to recover it, couldn't get a big enough a gap in time. I guess I'm trying to get a seat, so hopefully that drive will hopefully earn me one next season. And that's about all.
Yeah.
Just
Okay,
Well,
unlucky.
we
that
wish you best of
was
luck.
amazing race from you.
Thank
Just
you.
want to say, amazing result. But in the end, just wasn't enough. Just a couple incidents. But congrats anyway, and I hope to see you next race.
Yes, thank
As
you.
a P5
Appreciate it.
driver, Sir Scarpiasti has joined back, so I guess we can interview him now.
Yes. Can you hear us, young victim?
Yeah.
Yeah. So take us through your race.
Did who put a bounty on there? That was annoying.
What?
I was just getting killed.
Excuse. What? I don't know what you're saying. I'm a bit lost right now. Colas. Just start
Uh,
Colas.
uh, could you? It would be really nice if you could speak a bit of a more intermediate English level, because we are struggling to understand what you say. Okay.
Alright.
So, what are your opinions on this race? What do you think?
I had a solid pace at the start. And I got a bit unlucky with the safety car.
Well,
And then I was just a bit slow.
yeah. Well, either way, a top 5 finish. Good points for
Hmm.
Aston Martin. Congrats on that, and yeah, hope to see you next race.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now we'll be heading on to Akahor in P7. Can you hear us?
Akohor, are you with us?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I can.
Yes. So Akahor,
So,
what was that incident? Can you take us through what happened there?
Yeah, honestly, we were fighting. I mean, it was a little bit like, well, not the cleanest fight, but yeah, I mean, I saw him going down the inside, but I was like, surely not. He's like 2 or 3 turns behind. I was not sure he would try to dive on me there. I tried to left him space, but I mean, I locked up, so I couldn't really do much about that. I'm sorry, I don't really had control over that. I was, fighting. I'm not really fighting, but fighting for a position. I was. I mean, I like to at least like put some battles up for the viewers. if it's on me or somebody. But yeah, I just locked up and then he crashed into me. I'm sorry, he had a good race. I had one too, but then I just spun out. This was my own mistake, but we don't have to bother about that. So yeah, I just locked up and he spun, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, Corliss, do you have any questions?
Are you hoping for a better race in Jeddah, as the season finale would definitely want to end the season on a high?
Yeah, I mean, I have the pace, I think, maybe. Today I had the pace. Honestly, it's if I get a good results, it's okay. I'm happy. But if I don't, it's whatever really. But yeah, great track, I think. But it will be a lot of collisions and yeah, a lot of drama in Jeddah probably. So well, I will see about what will happen. So.
Yeah, well, either way, a P7, some points for Mercedes. He had a pretty good race, just wasn't enough in the end, but either way, congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, and thank you for the interview. And now we'll be heading on to the P8 finisher of Barca Boy in the Haas. Can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
So, Colas,
So, what are your opinions on this? Are you happy with your results, or do you think you could have done better today?
No, had a absolutely awful race. This is one of my best tracks. I feel I had the pace, could have got podium, maybe even fought for a win. Just a lot of things happened to me before even the race started and just throughout and even in quali, so not had a good race.
yeah, well, still a P8 for Haas, a decent result. We have seen you getting some better results in the past, but let's hope you can come back better and stronger for Jeddah next time out for the season finale, and hope you can come back even stronger for the next season, season 4 in F125 if you do end up getting it. And thank you for the
Thank
interview.
you.
Now, moving on to P9, I
Zero.
believe.
Zero.
Hello, Zero. Are you with us? Yes, here you are.
Hello. Yeah.
Now, the only driver who didn't get any track limits penalties, good effort from you, but take us through your race.
Um. Yeah. I couldn't do qualifying because my game crashed, so I had to start from the back. I made a couple of overtakes. Someone went committed murder on DMAG, so that got me a couple of places. Then I managed to get to like P4 or something, and then the safety car came out, so that wasn't good for me either. And then Ethan decided to commit murder on me in turn one. I don't know how he thinks, but he was clearly behind my car going into the braking zone, and then he gave me a tap. So I'd start from the back again, push all the time. Managed to catch up to the slow guys at the back with like 60% tire wear. So I don't know what they were doing, but yeah, I guess point is good. Fast slap as well.
Yeah, well, that will be 5 points in the end. Some decent points. Colas, do you have any questions?
No, we just wanted to wish you the best of luck in the season finale for Tier 2 in Jeddah. And now we would like to move on to P10,
Yeah.
who was, I believe,
Justin. But he is
yes,
not here at
Justin
the
is not here, so let's just move on to P11.
Curly in the V carb. Can you hear
Hello.
us?
Hello, Carly. What are your opinions on this race?
So qualifying pretty quality P10. I just had a thought, just defend the points and get some points on the board. Then safety car, all cruising. Then no offense to UK Ethan, but someone needs to learn UK Ethan that he is not alone on the track because he murdered me twice and some other drivers once. Wait, just a second.
Okay, we can wait.
Just
Be back when you're ready.
So here had some couple issues. Yeah, so Ethan decided to commit murder on me twice. Then gone to onto a soft stint, which just caused me a double puncher at the end of the last lap, which was very tough to cope, and just had to be P11, not P10.
So that was a very tough race for you. You're definitely hoping for a better result at Jeddah after this difficult race today.
Definitely.
yeah.
Do you think you can fight in the top 5 or for the podium in Jeddah? Is that your strong track?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if Jeddah is or not, but if there is gonna be some wonder in me, something gonna happen. If there is gonna be a miracle, you could maybe see me in the top 5, and if there's gonna be the biggest miracle, even on the podium.
Then we will look out for that. Thank you for this and see you next week.
Thank you, Sia.
Yeah. Thank you for the interview. Now we will be heading on to the only person who's left in the interview room. He was Louis Hammy in the race, but in the Discord he is Sprinter. Can you hear us?
Yeah, hello. Hi.
So, take us through what happened. We saw you getting a lot of track limit penalties. Just take us through your
Yeah,
race.
just losing it at turn 10 and turn 9, so yeah.
Yeah. Can you take us through how you DNF'd? I don't think we really saw it on the stream. But
I kind of turn 10, hit the wall, and then, yeah.
in the final corner.
Yeah.
Well, Quolis. Do you have any questions?
I don't have questions. So thank you for your interview and see you
Cheers.
next week.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you very much for the interview. Now, heading on to the. Was that it?
That's actually
or did I
everyone.
not interview Ethan? Or was that it?
No, we interviewed Ethan.
Okay,
That's
well,
everyone.
that's it. Thank you for watching VDRL. We'll have to see if there's any post-race penalties. We did hear Zero mentioning that DMAG got potentially taken out. We'll have to see what the stewards think about that. But thank you for everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week for the season